Summer camp might be over, but it's time to rebuild that good leadership team. How about a leader's retreat? Think about it. Hey, ScouterStan, let's talk about this retreat idea. This is something that is incredibly important for your leadership team. And we do a lot for our scouts, and it's time for us to kind of sit back and maybe take a moment to think about what happened at day camp or summer camp and be able to take that information as a leader and be able to use that to kind of build your whole team. So taking a retreat is a good idea. It's important to think about all of the successes that you had at camp. It is so important. And to also think about some of the problems you might have encountered. It's important for the leadership team to kind of reconnect with one another. Find out where their problems are that you can help them with. And likewise, it's a good idea to have some time as a team. This is important to kind of work together and really try to build something. Now, there can be all kinds of retreat activities. This retreat could be over just 2 days. I recommend the 2-day thing kind of start like on a Friday evening and go until, say, Sunday morning. So it's a 2-nighter, and it could be a camp out. It could also be at a hotel. So these are the adult leaders. So it is really to build that camaraderie. Now, if you're at camp, one of the big ones would be having everybody meet at a campfire and just sit around that campfire and talk about their successes, all the neat things they did during summer camp, some of their challenges that came up. These are the things that adult leaders need to work together as a team. And this is what scouting likes to call fellowship. And getting that together and working as a team is super critical to any success. Now, one of the big things would be to do the Scoutmasters often do this at PLCs. They'll ask the PLC to kind of go through the roses, thorns, and buds. Stop. Stop, continue. That's the kind of thing that we need to do as adult leaders. We need to sit together and talk about those things. That's a good structure, and it often works really well. Scoutmasters use that type of evaluation, self-evaluation, for fantastic team building workshop kind of stuff. And that is really super critical. In fact, there is a tips for Scoutmasters, so check that out when you get a chance. Another big thing would be to have some activity that is recreational, say fishing or hiking or being out doing hammocks. Okay, taking time for yourself where there isn't the distant din of the firing range or kids screaming through the woods. This is time to kind of relax. This is your reward. Think of it that way, to have that time off from the troop, but still doing those scout things we love to do. Now, during the retreat, there's an opportunity to talk about training. Training is one of those gifts that scouting gives to all of its adult leaders so that they can actually be prepared to do what they are wanting to do for the troop. This would also be an opportunity to kind of go over some of the SOP, the standard operating procedure for your troop. Maybe there's something that came up recently that you could work out. And that is a critical opportunity at a scouting retreat. Now, as we sit back at this nice retreat, we have to reflect on what happened during the summer. Sometimes there are issues that come up leadership-wise that need to be addressed, that need to be talked about. This is an ongoing process that every unit needs to do. All of the adult leadership should be invited to this retreat, whether they went to summer camp or not. They all will have some input that should be very valuable feedback. This is something that we need to do as adult leaders, is talk with one another and work out issues that came up. They also need to talk about all of the success that happened at summer camp. Now, parents also may have given the Scoutmaster team some information that the entire adult leadership needs to be aware of. And this is stuff that needs to be addressed and kept very confidential within the adult leadership. Obviously, if there's issues outside of that, then they need to be addressed also. Now, at the retreat, there may be a necessity to kind of go over the progression of leadership. So if the Scoutmaster's leaving or the committee chair's leaving the unit, the progression needs to be gone over, and all that information that they have needs to be given. And this is something that has to be on an ongoing basis. You can do some of this at the retreat. It's a wonderful opportunity. Fellowship and team building go hand in hand. It is an opportunity at a Scout Leaders Retreat to do a lot of fun things together. This could be something as simple as a cooking, where you have a competition, okay, or a Dutch oven cooking competition. It could be something fun. This also leads into a lot of discussion between leaders that have been at camp and a lot of people who are interested in going to camp as a scout leader should also get all of the stories, the good ones and the bad ones, okay? And this is something that needs to be shared confidentially, no names or anything, but this is something that scout leaders deal with on a regular basis. There are a lot of other fun activities that can be done, and this is something that you can work on. There's a lot of materials out there for team building and camaraderie and fellowship. That's something that there's a lot of games that can be done, but there's a lot of that stuff that can be done at the retreat. Okay, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you know that you're invited to the campfire chat. This is a live meeting right here on this channel that we do every first Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a great way to ask questions and not just me, but a lot of the guests that we have on the fireside chat. Definitely check that out. Also, I want to thank all of the Patreon for all of their support of this channel. In addition to that, we have our own membership right here on the channel. This is a fantastic way to get involved on this channel. Definitely hit the join button. It'll give you a bunch of information that'll tell you a little bit more about that process. So definitely get involved. We're going to just jump right on back. Looking ahead, that's what scout leaders should be doing. This is a wonderful opportunity at the retreat to kind of brainstorm. Think about what's next. Did that summer camp work out, and should it be on the short list to do again? That's something that the adult leaders need to be thinking about. Brainstorming this stuff so we can set the acorns, right, to build those beautiful oak trees. We have to be able to grow that idea within our scout unit. So that's the thing. If we brainstorm it, we can do that. That's a critical thing. This is also an opportunity to think about things that are coming up on the calendar, such as recharter, crossover, all the different things that come up within a troop. It's very important that those dates be remembered, and there should be some thought put towards that on the schedule. It's important to think about how to sustain your leadership. Make sure that every single position has an assistant. Every single position should have assistants, okay? I've been in incredibly large troops that had many assistant scoutmasters. When you have 9 or 10 patrols, you're going to need that many to mentor and to really help those patrol leaders. That's something that an assistant scoutmasters do, and we need to keep that going. There should always be one of those assistant scoutmasters that's ready to step up, and they should step up on occasion just to make sure that this position is right for them. So, and that's true for everything in the unit. All the committee that does treasury, there should be a treasury team that does fundraising and all the different things dealing with, paying the bills and so on, acquiring equipment and all that stuff. Okay, that's a team. That's a team. So we need to think about how that team can continue. And this is a wonderful thing to think about at the retreat, to really develop that and to really get that checked on and implemented as much as possible. Self-care and preventing burnout. This is so important. The retreat should be a place where everyone there understands, yes, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step back. It's fine, okay? There are people that want to do things within the unit, and that switchover should be as natural as possible, decreasing that stress of having to perform constantly. You need that ability to kind of step back. Earlier we talked about how if you have a scoutmaster, you need to have assistant scoutmasters to step in on occasion. That's a great break for that scoutmaster. And that's the thing we need to do for every position in your unit. Every single position should have some kind of time, and it is so important to prevent burnout. Burnout is a terrible thing when you see the same 10 people doing everything in your district, doing everything in your unit. That is a recipe for problems, and you personally have to take charge of that. And make sure that you always keep the 5 in mind. Now, if you don't know what I mean by the 5, the prevention of burnout, check out the video. It's an old one, but it's one that I've always believed in. And you got to make sure that those 5 basic points are always addressed. That's the important part of preventing burnout. Spiritual and reflective time. Now, this is optional. Earlier I said the best 2-night thing would be Friday night and Saturday night. Sunday, a lot of scout leaders have obligations that they have to take care of in the morning. So Sunday, everybody early Sunday morning is gone. Okay, that should be, you should kind of finalize and finish the Saturday night. And that's it, okay? And all the planning and everything would be that Saturday. That's what I'm recommending. That way you freed up a lot of people who have church, synagogue, that obligations that they have. That's the important thing. We need to think about all those scout leaders, and then if you're in different faiths, you may have different requirements. So that's one of those things that you have to work out. You gotta make up your own. Okay, you really can't do the template that I'm thinking of because it just doesn't fit. You have to kind of adapt it and change it according to what your needs are. Maybe Sunday all day, maybe take a break in the middle. This is something that can be done. There's a lot of different options as far as a retreat. The Scouters Retreat is a wonderful opportunity to get input from others in your troop. It is so important to have an opportunity for people to really step up and give feedback, honest feedback. This is the opportunity to make your unit even better. This is the key. You have to have those opportunities so that they can step up and they can do those things. So think about that. It is so important that we work together as a team to really build a wonderful unit that works, that is not overly dependent on single individuals. That leads to burnout. So there's a lot of different things. So you need to have some opportunity to kind of sit back and work together and have fun and really enjoy the leadership opportunity that you're taking advantage of. And that's the wonderful thing about scouting. You should take a moment to kind of sit back and think, that's pretty good. I did good. That's what you need to do. Those are the rewarding parts of scouting. I see that many times when there's an Eagle board review. It's stressful for the scout, it's stressful for the leader, stressful all the way around. I go in there from the council and from district, and I don't see it that way. I'm getting an opportunity to sit with the best leaders, with the best scout. That is the opportunity, and it's wonderful. It's recharging. It just gives you an idea of where scouting has fit into this young person's life and how all the things we teach really matter. So definitely keep up that good hard work. We need to work as a team, and this retreat idea is perfect, and I want you to develop one and put one into place with your scouters of your unit. Now this can also go to any unit. It could be Sea Scouts, it could be a Cub Scout pack, it could be anything, any version of scouting that there is, a crew, so on. This is critical. We need to do this for our leaders. We do a lot for our scouts. So definitely keep up the good hard work, and I'll tell you what, do it, okay? Just write yourself a note. ScouterStan says do it, okay? Yes, please. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments below the video. There's a lot of resources in the video, so definitely check out the description. We also have a wonderful video about the top things that a scout leader should have on their cell phone. This is a great thing. So check that out. It's a great one. Till next time, I'll see you on the trail.